we have a derived different critical voltage of resistive load inverter. Resistive load inverter, different critical voltage we have derived. This screen which I have shared, it is visible to all of you, right? So this in the last lecture we have start a resistive load inverter. Resistive load inverter. In a resistive load inverter, our VDD resistance, which is a passive device we have used for as a load. It is used in a resistive load inverter, and NMOS enhancement type MOSFET used as a driver in this inverter circuits, right? So drain, here it is a
Sir,
gate terminal. Screen not
screen is not
visible.
visible.
Okay,
Not
let me
visible.
see. Let me see. Okay, hope now it's visible.
Yes, sir.
Okay, okay. Now, whenever you paste to my voice is not clearly audible, or you whatever I am saying and it's something in a screen you'll see something different, let me immediately reply, right? So it can be correct at the same times. Good. So in a last lecture we have start a resistive load inverter, and we have derived a different critical voltage of a resistive load inverter. So in a resistive load inverter, passive resistor, it is used as a load for the inverter, and NMOS enhancement type MOSFET, it is used as a driver, driver, right? So in this we have derived a different critical voltage. We have derived for this circuit VOH voltage, which is maximum output voltage, and we have derived VOL, which is the minimum output voltage. We have derived VIL, which is maximum input voltage for logic 0, and we also derived the VIH, which is a minimum input voltage for logic 1. Right? From this four critical voltage, we can find a noise margin low. It is a difference of VIL minus VOL, and noise margin high. It is a difference of VOH minus VIH, right? So this is the one of the uh, characteristics parameter noise margin. So to analyze the noise margin, we required for critical voltage, and we derived all the critical voltage. And we have seen the characteristics of resistive load inverter. It depends on the design parameter Kn into Rn. So VTC curve of a resistive load inverter, it depends on the value of Kn into RL. So as we increase the Kn into RL, suppose this is for 1 Kn into RL, suppose here it is for the 1 volt inverse, and this is characteristics. If you increase the value of Kn into RL, then the characteristics of a resistive load inverter is goes toward the ideal, right? So if you want to improve the performance of resistive load inverter, it's required the higher value of a Kn into R. So as we know, the KNRL is the design parameter of a resistive load inverter. So as we increase the value of KNRL, required the larger silicon area. Right. So here it is a trade-off to improve the noise margin. Required the higher value of KNRL, and for the high KNRL, it required the larger silicon area. Right. So for to fabricate the large value of resistance, required the larger silicon area. Another parameter is the power dissipation. So in a power dissipation of a resistive load inverter, we already derived the equation of power dissipation in the last lecture. So resistive load inverter, what is static power dissipation? Static power dissipation of a resistive load inverter. So if we see the static power dissipation of this resistive load inverter circuit, so whenever the input is in a logic 0, so when input is equal to in a logic 0, right, at that time driver MOSFET operate in a cutoff, and VDD not get the direct ground path, because the driver MOSFET operate in cutoff. An equivalent circuit, it is an operate in a open circuit. So here the current, this current, it tends to be 0, right? So the power dissipation when the input is logic 0 of a resistive load inverter, it is equal to 0. The power dissipation is, static power dissipation is supply voltage multiplied by the current sink from the supply. When the input is equal to logic 1, when we have the input is equal to logic 1, then the driver MOSFET operate in a saturation regions, and it's have a conducting path between the it operate as a closed switch, and so VDD get a direct ground path through the load resistance. So in this case, power dissipation, it is the VDD multiply by that output. So when the input is logic 1, we'll get the output is logic 0, and it is a VOL. So in this case, power dissipation is VDD multiplied by IL. VDD multiplied by IL, and IL is equal to VDD minus VOL divided by RL. So power dissipation for this when input is equal to logic 1, it is VDD multiplied by VDD minus VOL divided by RL. Now when, if we assume we have the input is have 50 percentage have a logic 0 and 50 percentage of input signal in logic 1, then we can say the average power dissipation, average static power dissipation of resistive load inverter, average power dissipation, it is a VDD by 2, because in a input logic is equal to 0, there no dissipation of power, and when its input is logic 1, it dissipates the power VDD into VDD minus VOL divided by RL. So average is divided by 2, right? So VDD multiplied by VDD minus VOL divided by RL. Right. So here we can say the power dissipation. If you want to reduce the static power dissipations, then it requires the larger. If you want to reduce the static power dissipation of resistive load inverter, it's required large value of RL, which reduce the power dissipations, right? Because it is here directly we can say it's a inversely proportional. So for the large value of RL, as we have seen in the last lecture, the RL to fabricate this passive device, it required the larger silicon area. It's two methods. One is the diffusion silicon method to implement the RL, and another method is the undoped polysilicon for to as an implement or to fabricate the load resistance. Right? But undoped polysilicon, as we have discussed, undoped polysilicon resistivity or the resistance we cannot have a precisely control, right? So whenever we required a parameter noise, the precise value of the that parameter value, noise margin, power dissipation, and like such parameter, then it's not possible using the undoped polysilicon materials. And another is the diffusion silicon materials. But the diffusion silicon material have a resistivity in a range of 20 to 40 ohm per square. So it to fabricate resistance in terms of kilo ohm, it required the very large silicon area. Right. So to fabricate the passive resistance value, it required the larger silicon area inside the chip. larger silicon area. So here we can say it is a trade-off between power dissipation and the area requirements. It's trade-off between the power dissipation and the area requirement of a resistive load inverter. Let we more explore this trade-off by solving one examples. So in examples, let's have a VDD suppose is equal to 5 volt. Let's say the threshold of the device, say suppose 1 volt. Let's say Kn dash, which is nothing but the mu n into COX transconductance. Let's say it is 30 microampere, 30 microampere per volt square. And the question is design a resistive load inverter. Question is design a resistive load inverter which can achieve, which can have the VOL value is equal to 0.2 volt, right? So this is the example. VDD is equal to 5 volt for resistive load inverter. Threshold voltage of the driver MOSFET is 1 volt. Kn dash, which is the transconductance, it is equal to mu n into COX, and it is given at 30 microampere per volt square. And the question is design a resistive load inverter that can have the VOL value 0.2, right? So this is the questions, this is the parameter given, and we have to design a resistive load inverters, right? So here VOL we want a 0.2 volt, it is given, right? So we want to achieve VOL is equal to 0.2 volt. So we know the VOL, it is an output voltage. So we want output voltage, it is equal to VOL is equal to 0.2 volt. So whenever output is equal to VOL, what should be the input? So whenever the output is equal to VOL means the minimum output voltage. So whenever we want a minimum output voltage, we require the input voltage is, so input voltage is maximum, right? So when the input is maximum, we'll get the output is minimum, right? So when we input is a VDD, which is the maximum voltage. So when the input is a maximum voltage, we'll get the output is a minimum VOL. So input is VDD, output is a VOL, right? Now input is equal to VDD and output is equal to VOL. What is the operating? We know what is the operating region of the driver MOSFET. So in that case, the driver MOSFET operate in a linear regions. So whenever input is a maximum and output is a minimum and input is greater than the threshold of the device, then driver MOSFET operate in a linear regions. So driver MOSFET operate in a linear region. So IL of a linear region, ID linear regions, right? So IL that can write for resistive load inverter, which we already written too many times. It is a VDD minus the output voltage divided by RL value, load resistance value, right? Now how to write the ID linear current equation? So ID linear current equation is mu n COX by 2 into W upon L into 2 times of VGS minus VT into VDS minus VDS square minus VDS square. This is the ideal linear current equations. So we know for the resistive load inverter, VGS is our input voltage for resistive load inverter circuit, and VDS is the output voltage. So in this case, we'll substitute instead of VGS, it is input, and instead of input, it is equal to VDD. So here it is VDD given the 5 volt. So instead of VGS, we'll substitute a 5 volt, and instead of VDS, we'll substitute a V out, and V out is equal to VOL, and we want to achieve VOL 0.2, right? So instead of VDS, we'll substitute a 0.2 volt. So let's substitute this value in above equations, and let me find the unknowns, the design parameters, right? So equation is VDD minus V out. Instead of V out, it is VOL divided by RL is equal to mu1 COX divided by 2 into W upon L into 2 times of VGS. Instead of VGS, it is a input, and instead of input, it is a instead of input, it is a VDD. So let's substitute the value. So instead of VDD is 5 minus VOL is equal to 0.2 divided by RL is not given, that we have to find out. Mu and COX, it is given 30 micro ampere per whole square divided by 2. W upon L is not given, that is a design parameter, then we have to find out, because here we are going to design a resistive load inverter. Right, V in, it is a 5, V in is equal to VDD, VT is given 1 volt, V out it is a 0.2 volt, and V out square it is 0.2 volt no square. Right, so in this equation have a RL and the W upon L are the unknowns. So let me take one side, W upon L multiply by RL, and rest of the parameter on the other side. So if we simplify this, rest of the parameter will get the value is near about the 205 kilo ohm. 205 kilo ohm. Right, now unit is ohm, because the unit of W upon L, it is a unitless, and the unit of load resistance is ohm. So unit of this product, it is a in terms of ohm, and value is 205 multiplied 10 raised to 3 ohm, so it is 205 kilo ohm. Right, now it is a design problems, so let's take one value and we'll find another value. So let's take the W upon L is equal to 1, and what is the RL value required to achieve the VOL 0.2. So if you take the W upon L value 1, we require the RL value is 205 kilo ohm. Right, 205 kilo ohm. Right, let parallelly take what it dissipate the power. What is the power dissipation in that case of these circuits? So power dissipation, we know the equation of power dissipation, it is a VDD by 2 into VDD minus VOL divided by RL. So in this equation, let's substitute the 5 by 2 into 5 minus 0.2 divided by 205 kilo ohm. So in that case, we'll get the power dissipation is near about the 58.5 microwatt. If you find this value, we'll get near about the 58.5 microwatt. Right, let's take the W upon L is equal to 2. So if you take the W upon L value is equal to 2, and to achieve this product 205 kilo ohm, we require the value of RL is half of 205 kilo ohm. So we require the value of RL, it is equal to 102.5 kilo ohms. Right, so if we decrease the load resistance value, if we decrease the load resistance by the half, power dissipation is increased by double. So power dissipation is 58.5 multiplied by 2, so we'll get the approx the power dissipation is 117 microwatt. 117 microwatt. Right, so if we take that W upon L is equal to 4, then we required the value of load resistance is half of 102.5. Right, so half of 102.5 is near about the 51 near about the 51.3 or 51.3 kilo, and in that case power dissipation is double of 117, so power dissipation is 234, near about the 234 microwatt. So as we have seen here, as we reduce the resistance value, power dissipation is increasing. Right, at a higher resistance value, it's have a lower power dissipation, but to fabricate the higher value of passive resistance is required the larger silicon area. So here it's a have the trade-off between the power dissipation of the circuit and to fabricate silicon area requirements. Right, so if you want to reduce the power dissipation, we have to pay in terms of the silicon area requirements. Right, so this is the again we have explore the trade-off by taking the example of a design example, and we have seen how the power dissipation and the area requirement have a trade-off in a resistive load inverter. Let me solve one more example on how to find out the noise margin. So for the noise margin, we already have derived different critical voltages, right? So for the noise margin, we already have derived different critical voltages. So for the noise margin, let's take one more example to find out the noise margin. So here the question is find noise margin of a given resistive load inverter, of a given resistive load inverter. Find noise margin of a given resistive load inverter, right? So here given in resistive load inverter, let write the given parameter. So here VDD is given again a 5 volt for this resistive load inverter. Threshold of the device, it is given 0.8 volt. Then the Kn dash value, it is given Kn dash is nothing but the mu1 into Cux, and here it is a given Kn dash is at 20 microampere per volt square. W upon L is given here is equal to 2. RL, it is the load resistance value, it is here given the 200 kilo ohm. Yes. So these are the given parameter value for a resistive load inverter, and the question is we have to find out the noise margin. So we know the noise margin. So noise margin high, it is a difference of VOH minus VIH. So noise margin high can find using the formula VOH minus VIH, and noise margin low it can find using the VIL minus VOL. So to find out the noise margin low, equation is VIL minus VOL, right? So how to find out the, let me find one by one all critical voltage. So VOH, we already derived the equation of VOH, it is the VOH it is equal to VDD, and here the VDD is given the 5 volt. So VOH value it is equal to 5 volt. Next critical voltage, let's find the VOL. So in a VOL, we already derived the equation of VOL. It is a VDD minus VTO threshold voltage plus 1 upon K in RL minus root of VDD minus VTO plus 1 upon K in RL no square minus 2 times of VDD divided by K and RL. This we have derived in the last lecture, VOL equations in terms of different parameter of resistive load inverter, right? So in most of the critical voltage have a product K and RL. So let me first find K and RL, right? And then we can directly substitute the value of this. So what is the K and RL? So K and RL is Kn dash into W upon L, which is nothing but the Kn into RL. So what is the Kn dash value is given? It is at 20 microampere per volt square. Value of W which is equal to 2, and value of RL it's also given 200 kilo ohm. 200 kilo ohm. So value of Kn into RL, here I have a 6, so it is a 1, 2, 3 and 3. So total 6 is cancelled. So 2 multiplied by 2 multiplied by 2, remaining is 8. So product K and RL value is equal to 8, right? So let's substitute the value in a VOL equation. So in a VOL, it is a VDD. So VDD is a 5 volt minus VTO, which is given a 0.8 volt plus 1 upon K and RL. So it is given 1 upon 8 minus root of VDD minus VTO plus 1 upon KNRL no square minus 2 times of VDD divided by KNRL. Right? If we simplified, if we find what is the solution of this equation, we'll get answer is near about 1.417. Right? So this is the VOL value is 0.417. Let's find the next critical voltage. It is a VIL. Let's find the VIL. So what is the equation of VIL which we have already derived? It is a VTO threshold of the driver MOSFET plus 1 upon KNRL. Right. So substitute the value of threshold of the driver MOSFET. Here it is given 0.8 volt plus 1 upon KNRL. So it is the value of KNRL product is 8. So 0.8 plus 1.215, 1 upon 8 is 1.215. So here we'll get 0.925. 0.925 volt. So VIL value is 0.925 volt. Let me find the VIH. So also we have derived the equation of VIH, and it is a threshold plus 8 VDD by 3 into KNRL minus 1 upon KNRL. Minus 1 upon KNRL. Substitute the value. VTO, it is given 0.8 volt plus root of 8 multiplied by 5 divided by 3 multiplied by 8 minus 1 upon 8. So 8 cancel. So if we simplified, we'll get the answer is of this, it is a 1.97 volt. So we'll get the VIH, it is equal to 1.97. Let me find the noise margin from this all the critical voltage. So we know the noise margin law, it is equal to a VIL minus VOL. Noise margin law, it is equal to VIL minus VOL. So VIL, let's substitute the value of VIL. It is a 0.925 and VOL value is 0.417. Right? So if we simplified it, we'll get the answer is 0.78, near about 0.78 volt. So noise margin low 0.78 volt. So what is physically indicate? So noise margin low, it indicate a positive going pulse voltage, positive going noise pulse voltage. It can be tolerated. So it the circuit or circuit or the channel or circuit can tolerate 0.78 volt noise, positive going pulse noise of 0.78 volt. Right? Let me find the noise margin high. So noise margin high is VOH minus VIH. Right? So VOH, it is a VDD, it is a 5 volt, and the VIH we have find it is a 1.97. So 5 minus near about 2, it is a 3, and 97, so 3.03 volt. So noise margin high is equal to 3.03 volt, and 3.03 volt indicate noise value, negative going pulse noise up to the 3.03 volt can tolerate. Right? This circuit can tolerate the negative going pulse noise value up to the 3.03 volt. So noise margin high and the noise margin low. Right? So that way we can solve any example it makes in exam, then you can solve using the methods. Now let's conclude about the resistive load inverter. Let's write some conclusion about the resistive load inverter. So in a conclusion we can say about the resistive load inverter. So in a resistive load inverter, right? So first of all, it's have a static power dissipation. So resistive load inverter have a static power dissipations. Resistive load inverter, to improve the performance parameter, like to improve the K and RL, it required the larger silicon area. Right, it required the larger silicon area. So this is the disadvantage of an resistive load inverter circuit. Larger silicon area. So first of all, disadvantage of resistive load inverter is to fabricate the higher value of load resistance, it required the larger silicon area. So resistive load inverter circuit required the large silicon area. Second point here, it is resistive load inverter have a static power dissipations. So it's have a static power dissipation, and the value of static power dissipation in a resistive load inverter, which we already derived, it is a VDD by 2 average static power dissipation VDD minus V volt divided by RF. Right, so it's have a static power dissipation. Static power dissipation means when our input is constant logic. Suppose input is logic 0 or logic 1, right? It is in that case, whatever the power dissipation, it is called a static power dissipation. When input is constant, at that time the whatever the power dissipation by the circuit, it is called a static power dissipation. So resistive load inverter dissipate the power when the input is logic 1. So whenever input is logic 1, VDD get the low resistive path that connect to ground, and it's have a non-zero sink current from the supply, and it dissipate the power. So it is resistive load inverter have a static power dissipation. So it's have a two disadvantage of this topology resistive load inverter. One is the it's required the larger silicon area to fabricate the higher value of passive load resistance. So here we have used a passive load resistance. So to fabricate the higher value of passive load resistance, it required the larger silicon area. Second disadvantage of resistive load inverter, it's have a static power dissipation, and to reduce the static power dissipation, it required the larger value of load resistance, and again to fabricate the large value of load resistance required the larger silicon area. So these have this topology have the two disadvantages, right? So how we can overcome the disadvantage? So let we use instead of this passive load, here the load resistance of this inverter is a passive component, load it is a resistor, passive component, and normally passive component require the larger silicon area inside the chip. Here we are analyzing, here we are going we are designing the circuit for the VLSI, means we are designing circuit for the chip we are going to use inside the chip, inside that. So we have to keep in mind the area requirements, what it take space layout inside the chip, right? So this to fabricate the passive high value load resistance, it required the larger silicon area, right? Let it replace this passive into the active device. So instead of this passive, solution is let use any passive device. Instead of that, let we use active device as a load, active device as a load, right? So what are the active device? So we already used a driver NMOS enhancement type, which is one active device, NMOS enhancement type as a driver. Let we use one more NMOS enhancement type as a load. We require the two device, one as a load and one as a driver to make an inverter. So let we use one more NMOS enhancement type as a load. But the load must be operate in a conducting state. This is one condition when we are designing an inverter. Our load device must operate in a conducting stage, must operate in a one switch, or must operate in a conducting, right? So our load device should either operate in a saturation region or it should operate in a linear region. It should operate either in a saturation or linear. If the load device goes into the cutoff, then the circuit no more work as an inverter. Circuit will not more work as an inverter, right? So this is the conditions. When we design an inverter, the load device must be operate in a conducting stage. It must have a non-infinite resistive mode, right? So let we use a two topology. Let we use in a first let we use a NMOS enhancement type as a load and in saturation regions. So two device, one is as a load and it is an enhancement. So this is the enhancement MOSFET symbol, right? And here it is a drain terminal, source terminal, bulk terminal, and the gate terminal of the MOSFET. Now we want to operate in a saturation region. So for the saturation region condition is whenever the VGS of the load minus VT of the load, if it's less than equal to VDS of load, then it is operate in a saturation regions. Then it is operate in a saturation regions, right? So VT of this enhancement MOSFET is greater than 0, always a positive. It is an some positive value, right? So if we keep our VGS and VDS equal, if we keep our VGS and VDS equal, then this condition is always satisfied. If we keep our VGS and VDS equal, then VGS minus VT is always less than VDS. If these two values are equal, if we cancel each other, then minus VT is always less than 0. Right? Minus value is always less than 0. So when we keep the VGS is equal to VDS, then this condition is satisfied. That means MOSFET operate in a saturation regions. So how to keep the VGS and VDS equal? Let's connect the VG and VD. So let's connect the gate and source terminal. So by sorting the gate and source terminal, gate and drain terminal, it will make this load device operate in a, this is our load device. It will make in a saturation region. So here we have a bias. It always operate in a saturation regions, right? Now here it is a driver device. So driver device is again a NMOS enhancement type driver device. Drain terminal of driver device is connected with the source terminal of the load device, and from this point it is an output of the inverter, right? And gate terminal of driver device it connected at input, and source and bulk terminal of the driver device is connected at a ground. So this is our driver device, right? And the bulk terminal of load device is also connected with the ground. So this is a load device NMOS enhancement type, and this is the driver device NMOS enhancement type. Load device will always operate in saturation because the gate and drain is short circuited, so VGS is equal to VDS, right? VGS is equal to VDS, so VGS minus VT is always less than the threshold. So it is operate in a saturation region. So this topology it is called as saturated enhancement type load inverter. Saturated enhancement type load inverter. So here we have used load as a enhancement type, and it is operate in saturation, so it is called as saturated enhancement type load inverter, right? So this topology it is called as saturated enhancement type load inverter. So if we analyze the topology in detail, we analyze the topology in detail. So to make the load device operate in a conducting, we require the VGS of the load must be greater than the threshold. must be greater than equal to threshold, then and then the load device will operate in a not in cutoff, otherwise it goes into the cutoff regions. So this is the conditions to make the load device into the conducting. This is the condition to make the load device into the conducting. So this is the condition which make the load device into the conducting. So let's put the value of VGS. So where the gate terminal of the load is connected, so gate terminal of load is connected at VDD, right? And the source terminal of load device is connected at Vout. So VGS is the VDD minus Vout. VGS is the VDD minus Vout. So VGS can write it is a VDD minus Vout. So VDD minus Vout must be greater than equal to threshold. So what should be the output voltage from this? So output voltage must be less than equal to VDD minus VT. If we simplified for output voltage, then the output voltage must be less than the VDD minus VT. That means what should be the maximum output voltage? So Vmax is equal to VDD minus VT, or it should be less than that. So maximum output voltage is VDD minus VT, right? So maximum output voltage we are called as a VOH. We are calling this as a VOH as per the definitions. So VOH in this topology will get a VDD minus VT. VOH for this topology will get it is a VDD minus VT. So here we can conclude this topology will get the VOH, it is a VDD minus VT. That means we'll get the maximum output voltage is one threshold voltage less from compared to power supply. So we'll get the one threshold voltage less, which make the noise margin high. It is equal to VOH minus VIH. It's also reduced by the one threshold voltage, right? Because it's subtracted by the VT. So VOH is subtracted by VT, right? So it is one threshold voltage less. So noise margin high is also a one threshold voltage less. Right, so this is the disadvantage of this topology, saturated enhancement type load inverter. It will reduce the output logic swing. So output logic swing it defined as the maximum output voltage minus minimum output voltage. So any digital circuit output logic swing, it defined as what is the maximum output voltage and what is the minimum output voltage. So it reduced the output logic swing by the one threshold voltage because VOH is VDD minus VT. So it is reduced by one threshold voltage. So output logic swing is also reduced by the one threshold voltage. It is reduced by one threshold voltage. One threshold voltage of the load MOSFET. Right? So this is the disadvantage of this topology. So if we use NMOS enhancement type as a load in a saturation region, we'll get the maximum output voltage. It is a VDD minus one threshold voltage. Let we now what is another option we have? So another option we have let we bias the this load MOSFET into the linear regions. Let we bias the load MOSFET into the linear region. It should be either in linear or saturation. The condition is it must be in a conducting. So either in linear or saturation, right? So this is we have discussed about the saturated enhancement type load inverter. Let me bias now our load device NMOS enhancement type load device into the linear regions. So let me check for its linear region biasing conditions. So what is the condition for the linear regions if you want to bias a load into the linear region? So for the linear regions, condition is a VGS of load minus a VT of load must be greater than equal to the VDS of load. This is the condition for the linear region. Okay, so let me check uh, what should be the required the value of VG and VDS, right? So here we can clearly see is VGS of load must be greater than equal to the VDS of load plus one threshold voltage. So we required a two power supply. One is connected at the drain of load and another is connected at the gate of load and the gate terminal of the load device. So whatever the power supply connected at the gate terminal of load device, it must have a greater than the drain terminal VDS by the one threshold voltage. So topology, let's draw here. It is a VDD, it is a power supply, and here it is our load MOSFET, load enhancement, load MOSFET. So here it is, VDD is connected at the drain terminal. So at gate terminal, let me give another power supply and it is a VGG. Let me give the name is VGG. Right. Here it is a source terminal. So VGS now it is a VGG minus V out and VDS it is a VDD minus V out. Here we'll connect our output voltage. This is our driver MOSFET. So drain terminal of driver MOSFET is connected at the source terminal of load MOSFET, and from that node it is our output node. Gate terminal of driver MOSFET, it is connected at input. Source and bulk terminal of driver MOSFET is connected at ground, and bulk terminal of load MOSFET is also connected to ground. So this is our load device and this is our driver device for the inverter, right? So here the load we have connected to a battery, one connected at the gate terminal, another is a drain terminal, and if we keep our VGG battery greater than equal to VDD plus one threshold of the load, then load always operate in a saturation region, linear region. If we keep this, then the load operate in a linear region. Then load MOSFET operate in a linear region, right? So here if we keep this VGG greater than equal to VDD plus one threshold voltage, we'll get another advantage. It's we'll get the V out voltages up to the VDD, right? Let's see how we'll get the condition is to operate in a conducting is our VGS of load must be greater than equal to threshold of the load, right? So what is the VGS of load now? Here it is a VGG minus source terminal is connected at output. So VGG minus V out should be greater than equal to VT of load, right? So let me substitute the VGG in terms of VDD. VGG in terms of VDD. So it is a VDD plus one threshold voltage or greater than that. Let me keep it is one. Then it is a VT load. So VT load cancel, will get a V out is equal to a VDD. We'll get the V out is equal to VDD. So in this topology name is linear enhancement type load inverter. Linear enhancement type load inverter, right? So here we'll get what is the disadvantage of saturated enhancement type load inverter. Disadvantage is output, maximum output in that case is VDD minus one threshold voltage. But here in a linear enhancement type load inverter we'll get the maximum output voltage, it is a VDD. If we keep our second battery voltage greater than the VDD plus one threshold voltage, then definitely we'll get the V out is up to the VDD, right? So whatever the disadvantage of the saturated enhancement type load, it can overcome using the linear enhancement type load inverter. But here we clearly see the one disadvantage of this linear enhancement type load inverter, it is required the two power supply. It's required the two power supply, and it is very difficult in a IC when connects by giving a multiple power supply. So here, if you see the disadvantage of this linear enhancement type load inverter is required two power supply. Required two power supply. Hope it is clear to all of you. If you have any doubt, you can ask, right? So we have discussed here the enhancement type as a load in both the operating region, saturation operating region. Disadvantage it's have a maximum output voltage is one threshold voltage less, and also we have discussed the linear operating region enhancement load, and disadvantage of this topology is it's required the two power supply, right? So what is now we have option. Let we already discussed the MOSFET available in a two. One is the depletion and another is enhancement type. So let we use the depletion MOSFET instead of an enhancement MOSFET. Let me use that instead of this enhancement MOSFET as a load. Now let me use a depletion MOSFET as a load, and let's see what will happen. We are doing this, everything is to reduce the area requirement due to the passive load resistance. RL in a resistive load inverter, load resistance RL is a passive device and it requires the larger silicon area. So we have replaced the passive load by an active device, a MOSFET, and we have discussed the two topology. One is the saturated enhancement type load topology, and another is linear enhancement type load topology. Okay. If now let's see the depletion type load inverter, in which as a load we will use a depletion MOSFET, and as a driver it's continue will use as a NMOS enhancement MOSFETs. So this name of this, it is called a depletion load inverter. Depletion load inverter. Name of this topology, it is called a depletion load inverter, right? So in a depletion load inverter, as a load it is a depletion MOSFET, and symbol of depletion MOSFET is slight different compared to the enhancement. So here it is this symbol, it shows it's have an inbuilt channel between the drain and source. So this is the drain terminal, this is source terminal. So it's have an inbuilt channels, and here it is a gate terminal of depletion MOSFETs, and this is the bulk terminal of a depletion MOSFET, right? So we'll use this depletion in MOSFET as a load. So as a load, this load device, it is a depletion in MOSFETs. Now condition is this load must be operate in a either in a conducting stage, and as a driver it will continue as an NMOS enhancement type. So as a driver is NMOS enhancement type, and connected here, and output is from the drain terminal of driver, it is output, and input at the gate terminal of driver, right? So this topology, it is called a depletion load inverter. Depletion load inverter. Now we have to bias the depletion load such a way that it should operate in a linear or saturation regions. So we know the friends, depletion MOSFET have a negative threshold voltage. Depletion MOSFET have a negative threshold voltage. Depletion MOSFET have a negative threshold voltage, right? So what is the condition for in the conducting stage? So condition is VGS of the load must be greater than equal to threshold of the load device. But here the threshold of the load device is negative value. So here is something negative value. So it should be greater than the negative. So even if we keep the VGS of load is 0, then also it is greater than the negative, then also it is satisfied, right? So if we keep the VGS is equal to 0, then also the load MOSFET operate in a conducting stage. 0 is greater than the negative threshold of the depletion MOSFET, so the load MOSFET will operate in a conducting stage. So how to make the VGS is equal to 0? Simple, by connecting the gate and source terminal. So let's connect the gate and source terminal. So it will make a VGS is equal to 0. So here we have a bias, the depletion MOSFETs, right? And it always operate either linear or saturation regions. It never goes into the cutoff regions. It never goes into the cutoff region. It operates in a linear or saturation regions, right? So not required any another battery to make it operating in linear or saturation. It's by keeping just only gate and source as short circuited, it will operate either linear or saturation. It never goes into the cutoff. So whatever our condition, the load must operate in a conducting stage, it can be very easily we can satisfied by just connecting the gate and source of the depletion MOSFET short circuit, right? So this is